Hello students! Today we're going to talk about array data structure in C# programming. Have you ever wondered if you can place multiple values of the same type in a single variable? It is possible using the array data structure, and today we will learn how to declare an array and how to access the elements of array. So our learning objectives: to explain what array data structure is, to understand the different methods applied in array, and to develop programs involving arrays using the C# programming language. So here's a definition for array data structure. An array is an index sequence of components. Typically, the array occupies sequential storage locations. The length of the array is determined when the array is created, and it cannot be changed. Each component of the array has a fixed, unique index. Arrays work as collections of items. You can use them to gather items in a single group and perform various operations on them. For example, the sorting operation. So here, we can see that array is a linear data structure, and the length of the array tells us the number of elements that your array can store. Each component of the array has a fixed unique index. So arrays allow us to store multiple values of the same type in a single variable. What is an array index? Array indices are integers. The bracket notation a sub I is used. Bracket operator performs bounds checking. An array of length n has bounds 0 and n minus 1. So for example, you have an array of size 5. It has bounds 0 and 4. Any component of the array can be inspected or updated by using its index. So the first element of your array can be found in index 0, and the last element can be found in index n minus 1. Here's a sample array declaration. So first, specify the data type, followed by the square bracket, and then the name of your variable equals new data type again, and then the square bracket, and then the size inside it. So we have here int square bracket a equals new int size 10. Another example, int square bracket b is equal to new int size 3 with initial values. So here you can declare array with or without initial values. So in here in the second example, we have b sub 0 is equal to 1, b sub 1 equals 2, and b sub 2 equals 3. Okay. Arrays are declared much like variables, with a set of square brackets after the data type. For example, string, square bracket, and then the name. Okay? You need to instantiate the array in order for you to use it. So string square bracket names equals new string size 2. The number 2 is the size of the array. It is the amount of items that we can place inside your array. So putting items inside the array is pretty much simple. Here's the example. So names of 0 equals John Doe. Here's another program wherein it involves an array of strings. So here we have of length 2. So we have initial values. We have here John Doe and Jane Doe. And then our for each loop, here's the syntax. For each string s in names, we just simply display the content of your array. So it will output John Doe and Jane Doe. So we use the for each loop because it's the easiest. But of course, we could have used one of the other types of loop. For the for loop, it is good with arrays as well. So for example, here, you need to count each item. So I use the name dot length. Okay, we use the length operator or the length property of the array to decide how many times the loop should iterate. Okay, the array class contains a bunch of smart methods for working with arrays. In this example, we use numbers instead of strings. Okay, let's take a look at the example. We have here int square bracket numbers equals new int size 5 with initial values. Okay, this long line can be converted or translated into this one. So we have your int square bracket numbers equals and then the values. This is short, right? And you don't have to specify the size. Okay? So either of the two, you can use them. Okay, in our example number 2, I'm gonna go here. Okay. Before I explain this part, let me explain first the one above. So again, to declare an array, you need to specify the data type, for example, string, square bracket, the name of the variable, equals new string, and then the size. Okay? And then I have here initial values. So let's say names of 0, Aaron, names of 1, Blake, names of 2, Harrison. And then what I did was I simply displayed the values of the array of string. Okay? So let me just run this one. So it will give you Aaron, Blake, and Harrison. Okay. What if I want to get values from the user? What will be the code? So for example, I have here console.writeLine. Okay, then I will ask the user to enter 3 names. Okay, so for example, this one, I'm gonna ask the user, sorry, okay, so enter 3 names. Okay, right. So I'm gonna use the console that read line here. Console that read line. Okay, and also just copy this one. Just copy this and paste it here. Another one here. Okay. So when I run this program, the user will be asked to type 3 names. So for example, um, the names are Benji, John, and Mac. Okay. Then it displays Benji, John, and Mac. So here you accept input from the user. Okay. Now I'm going to change this into a loop. So I'm gonna use a for loop. So I'm just going to copy this one. So here I have here for I is equal to 0, and I'm gonna use the name of my variable names that length, which will give you 3, and then increment, okay, and then begin symbol. Okay, and I'm gonna remove this one. I'm gonna change this to, instead of 0, I'm gonna put I instead. Okay, and then close curly bracket. Okay, then I'm gonna run this one. So again, it will ask the user to input 3 names. So we have here, let's say John, Mark, and Luke. Okay, it will be displayed John, Mark, Luke. Okay, So this is array declaration. Okay, and then this one you ask input from the user or accept input from the user. Okay, and then this one you need all values. Okay, there you go. Okay, now let's move on to another example. Here we have an array of integers, okay, with initial values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what I did was I just simply display them all in one line. Okay, and then I computed for the average. So let me just comment down this one. I'm gonna comment this part so it won't bother you. Okay, so when I run this program, it will display the numbers 1 to 5 and the average. Okay, so in order for me to format this one, I'm gonna use string.format method. String.format. Okay, and then I'm gonna use double quotation marks here, and then curly braces, curly brackets, and then I'm gonna put here 0 colon 0 again point 0 0 0. Right. Okay. So that after the decimal point there will be only 2 digits. Okay. Right. Let's run again the program. See, from 3 it becomes 3.00. Okay. Now I'm gonna display this in ascending. Oh yeah, it's in ascending order, right? I'm gonna reverse it. Okay, so the command for that is array.reverse. Reverse. Okay, and then I'm gonna place the name of the array is now. Okay, so I'm gonna display. Gonna use a for loop again, so it will display the elements in ascending order. I'm just going to copy this one and edit this part. So we have here the elements of array in reverse order. So we have here now, oops, we have here num sub I. So square bracket, put here I, it's I, okay. Alright, it should be in the for loop. Copy paste here instead. Okay, let me just check my code. So in reverse order, so this one Okay. Elements of the array. Okay, are. Here it goes. Okay, okay, I get it. This one should be placed here. Okay, and then another one for the reverse. Okay, so this one is not here, but instead I'm gonna write console.write over here. Okay, let's try this one. See, the elements of the array are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The elements of array in reverse order 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the average is 3. So here's the code. Okay, now what if I want to display this one, this part, this one, sample program. So first, you're going to accept input from the user. You will get 5 numbers from the user, and then display index, element, and then display. Okay, so how are you going to do that? So the size of your array should be 5. Okay, so I'm gonna just edit this part. So I don't have initial values yet. So I'm gonna make it 5, and I'm gonna ask the user to enter 5 numbers. Okay, so to do that, okay, so we have here for I equals 0 less than num.length. So you're gonna ask the user to input what? Enter element something, right? So you're gonna write to enter element and then the square bracket here. Enter element. You put a placeholder here inside. Okay, and that placeholder is for the variable I. Okay, and then after that you're gonna read values from the user. So to do that, you're gonna use console.readline. So I have here num sub I is equal to console.readline. Okay? Okay, this way you can get input from the user. Now it's integer, so you need to convert it into integer. I'm gonna use convert that to int 32 to change string to integer. Okay, so we're done with getting input from the user. Now I'm gonna display this one, index element and display. Index element and display. So to do that, I'm gonna use console.writeline. I'm gonna type here index. We're gonna use \t for tab, index element and display. Okay, and then after that, I'm gonna use a nested loop. Okay, so I'm gonna use nested for loop. So for int I equals 0, I is less than num.length, I plus plus. I'm gonna change the variable to j equals 0. J is less than num sub I. Okay, and then I plus plus. So from here, I'm gonna place a curly bracket, and then I'm gonna type console that right line to display the index with backslash t index and the element in that index. Okay, and then I'm gonna use in the inner loop, I'm gonna display an asterisk, and then I'm gonna include also console that right line. Okay, somewhere here. Okay, we're almost done. And then I'm gonna close the curly bracket. Right. So I'm gonna remove this one. Then I'm gonna run the program. Let's see the output. So enter element. So for our example, we have 21543. Okay. So for example, we have 21543. Okay, and I just need to push it somewhere in the right. Okay. So I'm gonna place again plus sign here, and then I'm just gonna copy this part. Okay, for j is equal to 0, it should be j. Okay, I get it. J and then j plus plus. I think we're done. So let's check it out. 21543. Okay, so we're done. Again, remember to declare an array. All you need to do is specify the data type. Okay, the square bracket, the name of the array, equal sign, new data type again, and the size. Okay, to accept input from the user, you use this command, num sub I or num sub 0 equals console.readline. If it's an integer, num sub 0 equals convert that to int32 console.readline. Okay, and then to make it more efficient, I placed it inside a for loop. And then I use nested loop here to display the asterisk. So that's it. Remember that the element of your array or the elements of your array can be accessed using its index. Okay, and each element has a unique index. Okay, thanks for watching.